Much effort goes into keeping our members connected, but we also spend a great deal of time on keeping the rates low. And that includes increasing efficiencies that drive cost savings. I know we recently went through a financial restructure. Tim?
That's exactly right. With today's economy just going crazy, we figured internally we probably better just slow down a little bit. And so what we did is we went to our general ledger and we went line by line and we said, how can we make efficiency changes? And that's 1,000+ lines of work. Now, we went back to our roots. We analyzed our US accounting as well as today's GAAP accounting, and we said, how can we make everything more transparent? When we have transparency, we can see all the costs that come into this business and all the expenditures that come out very clearly. And that was the main goal. In doing that, we worked with every department, and every department has a budget. And so we had revised every single department's budget.
Well, I know my department's budget was about 315 line items, so I really appreciate accounting's contribution to that and direction. I know that transparency is for reporting purposes, but also internally we can use it to compare month to month, quarter to quarter, year to year, and it makes the process flow a little bit easier. I know inventory plays a big role in that. Courtney, you want to tell us about that?
Sure. As part of the look at the budget, one of the things that we identified were costs that were controllable versus non-controllable costs, meaning things that we could actually manage and change versus those that we really can't do anything about. So inventory then to some extent is controllable, at least in terms of how we manage it. We decided to go with a monthly cycle count process of all of our inventory as opposed to an annual one. With an annual cycle count, it takes a lot of everybody's time, one big push at the end of the year, and you might write off things that you can't find or make adjustments that really aren't properly researched because that's all the time you have. Whereas switching it to monthly, we might find the inventory the following month, or maybe it's at a different office and there's no actual write-off in the end.
Well, I know that was a pretty grueling process at the end of every year, wasn't it?
It was terrible.
And a pretty standard business practice, but making that more efficient is even better. So I heard that there's some gamification involved. You want to give us some insight on that?
Yeah, we did create a game surrounding our monthly cycle count process to just kind of excite everyone and get them on board with this new process. And I think it went well. We were able to set each office against one another, creating a little bit of competition, healthy competition, but it was a lot of fun. And we looked at the quantity of items that were adjusted every month, the cost of those, as well as just an overall percentage. And it really allowed us to have a good understanding of all of our transactions.
Awesome. Well, I know that directly correlates to work orders, service orders, things that really give the line crews direction each day on your projects. How has that affected you guys in the process?
Well, of course, like you said, we get work orders that come from the engineering department. And when we get those work orders, in the past, we did not have material, the cost actually of the material on those work orders. Now we're privileged to see that. And when you see that now, you realize how much it costs to build line and to do things like that. And things have went up. And so now, just kind of like your home budget, if you got a home budget, you should have one. Anyway, but you try to keep track of that to a better ability, because everything costs money, even to the little things, so it helps. And the game thing, it definitely is a nice thing, as a prize involved or whatever, but it's more, if you're a lineman and only a lineman, it's probably more about pride than it is prize. So, and like I said, it's a good thing.
Yeah, insert brags here, right?
That's exactly right.
So looking at that true cost, I mean, does it change what you guys do in the process?
Yeah, obviously, like I said, we really watch that because even like PVC pipe and things like that have went up to a crazy amount. You just can't believe how things are.
Right, the cost of that has made the linemen more aware of what they're maybe not wasting, but at the amount or type that they use, like for example, type of cross arms they might use, different things like that.
Also, it brought in technology.
Yes.
I mean, Tommy, you can explain how technology has changed your business as
It
well.
has, because when we do the work orders, when we're done building the job and we need to submit it, the old way was paper trail, and it might be 2 weeks or a month before somebody comes to your office and was able to deliver that to the main office at Branson. But now you charge the material out, and you put it all on the iPad, which is awesome. And you put it all on there. When you press submit, this department automatically gets it, and even the work order is submitted to another department. And it's so much faster, so much easier. You don't have to worry about missing something. You don't have to worry about getting a call from her, because we done a work order here a while back, and
it also allows you to check your inventory instantaneously, doesn't
Exactly.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas before, if work orders were out there for a certain amount of time, waiting to be entered, you didn't really know what your inventory was because you still had work orders that were in the mail.
Exactly.
So we're starting to say if there's something that's wrong maybe on that. Courtney's calling. Tommy, tell us about that.
She has called me, and it's been business, And, but anyway, we done a simple work order here a while back, standard for a homeowner, 2 or 3 poles, and I accidentally charged out 1 more pole than needed, which is not a big cost, overall, but for that work order, it put it way over the budget, which red flagged it, I guess, in the program. Yep. And she called me, and said, hey, and we got that figured out. It was my fault. Error on my side, but that's what's awesome about it is it's quick. I like the fact that it is very quick and very easy to use, really, once you learn it, learning curve, but it works.
A lot of the calls we get are just simply a work order number that's entered wrong or an item number that's entered wrong, and it flags it, and she knows, and she'll call us and say, hey, it doesn't like this work order number, and usually it's just a matter of looking at finding the number and entering it, and everything's great. Yeah.
So accuracy,
It's a whole lot better.
accountability, it all wrapped up into a singular process.
And everybody's still friends at the end.
Yeah, and everybody's friends. You get some bragging rights and other things in there too, so win all around. Chris, how has this changed the ordering process?
Well, it has allowed us to shop multiple vendors, different brands of material. It's made us understand that we need to carry more inventory in stock so that we can stay ahead of the curve as far as lead times, different things like that.
So the relationships that you have with your vendors is probably key as well, right?
Oh, definitely. We have some great vendors that's kept us in stock on items. We try to let them know what types of material and how much we want them to keep in stock for us. And we also have come up with maximum and minimum on our amounts that we want to keep in stock. That's still kind of in the process, but we're working towards that, so that will help with lead times as well.
So you said not only different vendors, but different types of materials. What do you mean by that?
Different brands. Before, we had usually 1 or 2 different types of brands that we wanted to use, and we still prefer those brands, but with the way the world has been in the last couple of years, we've had to open our eyes to and just appreciate anything that doesn't really have anything wrong with it. It's made by a different brand, and just if it's available, just get it, just buy it and have it on hand.
Technology, accountability, driving all of this together helps us make more strategic decisions and looking forward. Tim, you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. This is just one process of many that we can collaborate with other departments on. The idea of Chris mentioning ordering in advance, we worked side by side with the engineering department to look at our long-range plan on both a construction basis as well as a financial basis. And we can order now out a year ahead of time,
Right, yeah.
knowing the supply chain issues.
Well, that's another thing. I know supply chain's been big.
Absolutely.
It has been, yeah. So there's certain items that we figured out that the lead time was tremendous on, and we got with engineering and figured out what we might need for any specific work orders we might have coming up in the next 2 or 3 years, and tried to buy it, tried to go ahead and order it so that we'll have it on hand.
And it really just boils back down to the collaboration and communication amongst everyone internally. And when we do that, Cass, we will align ourselves with our strategic mission, and we will go far and continue to save our members money. And that's our overall goal.
Yeah, and I think driving that culture of accountability is what helps us to achieve that.
You're exactly right.
Well, guys, I appreciate you so much sharing of how each and every one of us work together to provide those benefits to our members at the end of the line.